Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar. It's our third and final webinar on programmatic. So how can you efficiently manage all of your programmatic advertising within ADvendio? If you don't know me by now, I've been on a lot of webinars. My name is Samantha Westphal. I'm an account manager here at ADvendio, and today I'm joined by Jan. Jan, do you want to say hello?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks, Sam, for the introduction. My name is Jan Reiners. Here at ADvendio, I work as a sales and global partner manager. And today's session, I try to assist Sam in the best possible way to deliver a great webinar, hopefully.
Yes, thank you for your assistance. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Does that sound okay to you, Jan?
Yeah, sounds great. Let's get
Okay.
started.
Perfect. So just the quick agenda. So we did our introductions, then we'll be going into our demo work to show you how to manage your programmatic revenue, specifically more on the analytics side of things. And then we'll talk about our outlook and then answer any questions at the end. So please, any and all questions, we'll love to see them. Ask away. Also, a quick disclaimer, I have a small cold, so sorry if I'll try to mute myself as best as I can, but if you hear me mute myself randomly, it's because I have a small cold. Okay. So, Jan, what have been some of the key challenges that you've seen when you speak with your current clients that are working with programmatic advertising?
Yes, thinking about the previous conversations I had with even existing customers, but potential customers or prospects, probably the one thing that all had in common was it was really hard for them to kind of have a central place where they can have an overview about all their revenue streams. Of course, most of them, they got some insights within their SSP about their programmatic revenue streams. They had some sort of system for their direct deals, but it was really hard for them. So that was the major challenge, to get an overall view about their revenue streams, even for direct as well for programmatic deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely seen the same. People are using so many exchanges or SSPs or perhaps even DSPs that it's just hard to get all of that data in one spot, and it just can get really, really manual and repetitive. And also each SSP, I imagine, has their own different formats and naming conventions, so it's hard to kind of pull that data into one place and enrich it. And then on top of that, typically your direct sales are in one platform and your programmatic or in others, so there's just kind of that lack of transparency there. So today, we're really going to be focusing on how can you kind of speed these processes up, how can you automate your booking, automatically connect and synchronize your data so that you can spend your time, maybe optimizing your yield or thinking more strategically in terms of your products and pricing. So, and one example today that we're really going to focus on, again, it's on the analytics side of things. So how can we automate and enrich and normalize your data? And I'll show you that in a minute. But that's what we're going to be focusing on today.
Yeah, that sounds really great, Sam, but I think probably the best way to show is to jump into our live demo org to give some great insights about this.
Yep, I'll head over right there. Okay, so I am now in our programmatic revenue cockpit. So for those of you that are new to this, perhaps this is a new view that you've seen before, but basically what this revenue cockpit, this dashboard is doing is that it's bringing in all of your data from your SSPs and exchanges to one central location. So again, this is just a demo, so it's a little bit, we have more basic information here. So today we're just keeping track of two SSPs. So Google Ad Manager and Xandr, which was formerly known as AppNexus. So we're bringing in all of that data related to those SSPs, our products, our revenue, and then later I'll show you kind of how that links up to your advertisers. So here you can see, how much revenue is being brought in per SSP. So I know a lot of customers that I've been speaking with, they're really taking a close look at every single SSP that they're working with to make sure that they have, the most productive relationship. So here, when you can compare at the click of a button how your two or your multiple SSPs are performing, you can help make those decisions there. So I guess in our instance, it looks like Xandr is our preferred SSP in this 2020 year. So again, you can keep your eye on that. You also can see, what channel are we bringing in the most revenue? So today, we're actually bringing in a lot through our open auction, a little bit through direct, or second most through direct sales, and then the least amount actually through the programmatic direct or programmatic guaranteed channels. You could also keep track of, your PMP deals or private auction deals, but today it's just these three. And then you can kind of use these to work on your strategy. And then scrolling down, how much revenue is being brought in on each certain advertiser. So you can see that Nike, this is by far our best advertiser. So if you click into Nike, you can see that all of this revenue is coming all from Xandr. And actually the majority is coming from your direct sales, and then coming up close is programmatic direct. So maybe if you want to, as a company, work more and more with programmatic, maybe you can try to see if you want to push up your programmatic guaranteed deals and automate it that way. Let's click into Games Company. So with Games Company, again, you can see the different breakdown per channel. And same with Fashion Ways. So this is an interesting one. So Fashion Ways is bringing in a lot through open auction and not that much through your direct sales channel. So again, you're not spending hours bringing in all of the data in to analyze this. I mean, I just press click and you can see what's working and what's not. So maybe if I were, like a sales manager or a decision maker, I'd say, maybe sales team, let's try to beef up our programmatic direct sales and maybe even indirect, since they're clearly interested in their offerings, but we just don't have that personal relationship just yet. So that's just like a couple examples of how I personally would analyze this data.
Sam, sorry to interrupt, but maybe just a quick question some of our listeners might have as well. This dashboard looks amazing and it really shows like all the different data streams coming together, but wouldn't it require a lot of configuration and matching to bring all these data streams in this one dashboard?
Yes, that's a really good question. So it does sound like a lot of work, but actually it's done in a few simple steps. So when ADvendio helps you set this revenue cockpit up, you just define a fixed schedule for your imports and data sync. So maybe you'd want your data to be updated on a daily basis, maybe even hourly in some instances. But so your data is automatically going to be coming in. You don't have to do any more work once it's all set up. So it's all consolidated, it's mapped, it's ready for you to analyze. So you can kind of see very quickly at a glance a total picture of your programmatic and direct revenue channels. But that's a good question. Yeah.
Excellent. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I could definitely see how this would take a while to set up if you were using a different system or something like that. But no, it's automatically updated
Definitely.
once it's set up. Good question. And then you also can see, if maybe you're a product manager, so you can see which of our sites are working, are being the most successful. So digitaltoday.com is doing really well, news.com and Travel Fun. And you can also see, per ad format, what's performing well on there. So if we click into this news.com, you can see that, okay, so we're bringing in a lot of revenue from our takeovers and then our mobile products. If we click into Digital Today, you see, okay, so we're doing really well with our video pre-roll. And then, interesting enough, we don't have a lot of mobile products there. So again, that you could use this data to influence your strategy there. And then you just wanted to see kind of, okay, so we bring a lot of revenue from this video pre-roll. And I guess it's all coming from digitaltoday.com. So that's our key product there. And then our takeover is spread pretty evenly through the news.com and digitaltoday.com. So again, just kind of seeing at a glance, it's actually pretty fun to play through this. I enjoy it. And just see kind of big picture, how are things working for your products.
And even can you break it down like further based on the product level? Are different views as well?
Yes, I'll switch over to the inventory cockpit. So this one is based more on, your product level. Again, this is broken down through your advertisers and their different channels that they're purchasing on. So here we have all these companies here. They're only purchasing, they're only bidding through an open auction. So again, maybe this could be the opportunity to invite them to a private auction or try to sell via programmatic direct. And then here, you can even see the breakdown per site. So digitaltoday.com is getting most of their revenue through programmatic guaranteed, but news.com, it doesn't have that much. So again, kind of why is that happening and how can we optimize our yield to bring in the most revenue with the easiest and most automatic ways possible? And then your question to the product level. So yes, here is just one example of each individual product and the revenue that it's brought in per channel. So I think I showed you this pre-roll before. This is all through programmatic direct. But this mobile interstitial, a lot of this is going through open auction. So again, an interesting observation there. How can we, influence our strategy going forward? But that's kind of just at a glance, you could spend a lot of time in here analyzing it, but very basically, this is what you can see and analyze, and then, use this to influence your strategy down the line.
Yeah, definitely great. Thank you so much, Sam, for showing this. And especially probably if you work in a company as an analyst or an ad operation teams, this gives you some really valuable insights. But what about the sales reps? So probably both of us, we're working in sales. So of course we want to focus on generating revenue, talking to our customers. And is there like a way where we can get all the information at a glance and maybe kind of shortened up more from a sales perspective?
Yes, that's a really good question. So I'm going to move over to the sales and order application of ADvendio. So for current customers, this might be a similar look that you're used to, but for any new people on the line, this is our kind of the core ADvendio product. So as a sales rep, you can see here that all of the programmatic revenue campaigns have been automatically brought in to our system. So you can see who bid on what, when, what products do they like. So kind of all this data that I showed you here, like for example, we saw that Nike really likes programmatic direct. All of this data is actually saved on the account level. So, we're both in sales. So when you're maybe prospecting or creating a proposal, it's really helpful to have as much data that you can to, make the best proposal. So you can see that, okay, so Nike really likes these products through programmatic guaranteed. Let's create a similar proposal. This worked well in the past. So all of that relevant data is there for your sales team's use. And then maybe perhaps more on like a workflow perspective, you also can push your programmatic guaranteed deals directly to your exchange. So here we have these items here. All you do is you press this button here, and then it would be over in the exchange, and then you can get the performance back. So instead of having, as a sales rep, you don't have to, always ask your ad ops team member what's going on with your campaigns. You're empowered to see what's going on and perhaps if anything needs to be optimized.
That's great. So there are actually really no manual processes behind, because I know from previous conversations, this could be a really manual process. Sometimes you have the challenges of redundant data. There are some mistakes due to the kind of manually copying the data. So it's just really this one click and then everything is submitted to your exchange or SSP.
Yeah, it is.
Great.
So that's also really helpful. And you brought up a good point. There is so much manual data and, managing campaigns can be really time consuming. So just automating these processes can help you, spend more time with your client. If you're in sales, maybe if you're in ad ops, optimizing your yield and making sure that campaigns are running well, rather than, entering in dates and account numbers and IDs and all this stuff. So we're trying to automate as many things that you can, and so that you can focus on the more on other parts of your job.
That's great. I think this is really beneficial.
Yeah. So this was, I think I ran through this pretty quickly. I have a tendency to talk quickly. So if you have any questions, I noticed we had a couple come in, but feel free to ask more questions and we'll answer those at the end. So I'm going to switch back to our slides. So that was a brief overview of how you can, automate the enrichment of your data. We could have showed you, how you actually do that, but I think that might be a little bit too technical for a webinar. But we're happy to follow up with you there, and like matching your programmatic accounts and all of that fun data stuff. So we're happy to follow up on those points, but just know that there's a lot more that goes behind the scenes. So we're just showing the fun, shiny stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, but like Sam mentioned, please feel free to reach out to us, and then we can really take a look at the technical part more and on the background, what processes are running in the background. And so we are always happy to give some further insights on this.
Just a quick note, sorry to kind of change the subject. So this webinar is focused mostly on the programmatic webinar, but I know that, perhaps some other customers are more looking to streamline things on the self-service side of advertising. So there is a webinar on July 15th. And so today, we focused on what's available now in our system. These are what's to come. So, you can see there's different features within Google Ad Manager, Xandr, Rubicon, and AdForm. So a quick note about Datorama is that since the last time we hosted this webinar, we are exploring more and more the partnership between ADvendio and Datorama. And so I don't know if you're familiar with their product, but they have tons of connections to SSPs and DSPs. So stay tuned for any information there to come. We're excited to share that when we can. But hopefully, stay tuned. That's all I'm going to say. Don't want to get in trouble. And then, of course, that forward-looking statement, make decisions based on the future. So on the present, excuse me. So what I showed you today is present speaking, but we will talk about what's to come and what's on the roadmap in the next slide.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. So basically, to just give you a brief overview and to sum it up about what is coming next within the next couple of months. So generally, our mission is not just to cover the transactions on the selling side, but even to cover the transactions on the buying side as well. So really to provide a solution which can streamline all advertising transactions. And in terms of this, even to further automate the processes, like probably some of you already know, we already achieved some great new features and functionalities in terms of self-booking, and there are more exciting things to come related to an automated direct marketplace. Probably like most of you, and what we really believe is, even especially in times like this, becomes even more important to kind of automate the processes as far as possible. And of course, something like a self-service portal, like a marketplace, where everything kind of is automated, can really accelerate a lot of processes and make life kind of easier for all players within the industry. Another thing which is quite important for us, which we are focusing on currently, is artificial intelligence. I'm not sure about you, Sam, but for me, sometimes it sounds really like a buzzword because you hear it so often. But in the end, it is quite important, and we take it quite seriously. Just in terms of even especially talking about sales, to make their life easier and to kind of provide them with good product recommendations, sales predictions. So stay tuned even for our new releases and features which will come or which are related to artificial intelligence. And last but not least, like I mentioned, Our mission is that we streamline all advertising transactions. That's why we already achieved some great things in terms of programmatic buying for brands and agencies. So there are really some great features. I already did a sneak peek at some of the new features will be coming next. And it looks amazing. I think it will be really beneficial for a lot of companies. So yeah, stay excited about what is coming next, the next couple of weeks, a month. So we're really looking forward to cover this part as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Jan.
Sure.
And then quickly, in case anyone was curious about pricing or had a question about that there. So since the Analytics Studio is connected to your SSP, the ADvendio Connect license is required. And then you can think of this as a bundle. So you get 5 users, and then the monthly storage is also needed, because if you just think about how much data is involved with programmatic, you know, millions and millions of data. So just keeping that there so you're aware. But now we're going to move into the questions and answers. So it looks like we've got quite a number of questions. So I'm going to wait a minute so I can review these and make sure that, you know, everything was answered correctly. But please feel free to ask anything.
Perfect. Yes, you'd already
to read through these.
in there. Let me take a look. Yeah, should we start with the first one, Sam? Are you ready for the Q&A?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
I hope so, at least.
Okay, let's start with the first question we received. The first question is, can I use the analytics dashboard only for programmatic data?
No, you could use this for any types of data that you wanted to keep track of. So today was focused on programmatic, but if you wanted to keep track of, you know, other important parts of your business, you could do so. And this could be imported, you know, through a CSV file, or perhaps it's just data in your Salesforce org that you'd want to analyze more deeply. You could do that as well.
Great. The next question seems to be related to programmatic imports. And the question is, can this work for header bidding as well?
Header bidding. Yeah, you could import the header bidding data with the dashboard so you could see how, you know, they're performing as well. I hope that answers that question.
Yeah. And the next refers to programmatic deals. And the question is, what programmatic deal types can be managed in ADvendio?
So you can manage your open auctions, private or preferred deals, and programmatic guaranteed deals, and then you know, your direct sales as well, depending on which SSPs, DSPs, or exchanges you use.
Great. I guess we slightly touched on the next one, but maybe just to repeat it again, in order to see programmatic data in ADvendio, do you have to have integration to your SSP?
So with the Connect module, the SSP is integrated to ADvendio. So yes, you just need to make sure that your SSP login data is in ADvendio, and then a scheduled job will pull the necessary data to populate those reports out.
Okay, great. I think there are just 2 more. So the next one would be, can we also see the programmatic buyer names?
Yes, so I apologize, I forgot to show that. Yes, you can keep track of your programmatic buyer names within your account level or media campaign level. It's also important to remember today I just gave a super general overview, but we can easily, you know, customize the look and feel of this to meet your specific business processes. So if you're more curious to see the programmatic buyer names than any of the other features, we can do that there.
Okay, awesome. I think, yeah, we're coming to an end. Just one more question. The campaigns shown here in our programmatic guaranteed campaigns, how about private deals? Can those be seen as well?
Yep. So, yep. Today I just showed, you know, the basic view. So yes, all of these deals can be imported and displayed. That's a really good question, because I know that's, you know, like a very important revenue stream. So yeah, you can have those in there as well.
That's great. Yeah, I think we're nearly done. But like we mentioned in the beginning, of course, feel free to after this webinar, get in touch with us and to ask any question maybe that might pop up in your mind after this meeting. And of course, like Sam mentioned as well, is if there's a certain part you want to go into more detail in, because we did a really general demo, of course, to cover the main points about our programmatic functionalities, then we're always happy to do another specific demo just for you and take a look at the different parts that you're interested in.
Yes, exactly. There's so much data and so many technical details involved with programmatic, so we're happy to do this on a personal basis. But thank you so much, Jan, for the great help today, and thank you so much for everyone who joined and tuned in today. I hope, I'd love to hear any feedback you have. If there's anything I can improve upon for future webinars, please let us know, and we'd really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much.
So, thanks, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.